Is that theirs? Their mics?
Yes, using? That's their mics. I think they just want us to use theirs. So.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
I brought mine just in case, so they want us to use theirs. So.
Me too.
Let's do another good job. I've actually, you know what's funny is I've never seen these two play up until this morning.
Okay.
So I have. You can. Oh, you have? Oh, yeah. Perfect.
So I can just tell.
You can just let the ladies and gentlemen know. Literally kind of what we did last time.
Yeah. You can just call it and I'll just
Yeah, done.
Fill in.
That's the beauty is like when you called it, it makes my life easier because I don't have to just kind of fake it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I saw the games this morning of like Caroline when they took on Altona.
Yeah.
And Caroline when they took on Altona, Manningham when they took on Heidelberg.
George Cross. Don't get it right.
You want me to call them George Cross, not Caroline Springs?
Yeah, George Cross. Or Georgie's.
Okay. Georgie's.
Yeah.
Big Georgie's.
Yeah, I've been to most. I was here when Manningham played Clifton.
Okay.
It was 1-0.
You know what's funny is both these two teams have one thing in common.
What?
They both lost to Heidelberg.
Yeah. But they lost to Heidelberg 4-0.
Yes.
They lost 6-0.
6-0, exactly. So which one's better? Find out.
But then they lost. No, they lost to Heidelberg. No, they were out, right?
Yeah, they lost quarters. I've got it written here. What am I doing?
To Heidelberg, yeah.
They lost to Heidelberg in quarters. They lost in round 5. So round 5 and quarters.
And it was just a fixture. It was just unfortunate they got
exactly.
the
That's
top
right.
team.
Exactly.
And they played pretty good.
I know.
No, it's great.
It's the exact same crew as that night in Heidelberg. It's that exact same crew.
What was that guy's name?
Because Rami's here as well.
Yeah, I saw
Rami.
I saw his little
little thing. I'm just going to go to the toilet real quick.
Yeah, go for it. No stress. About 15 minutes. Photocopy those first. Hello there. Oh, we're back again. I love it.
Bubble. The second game or just this one?
Just this one, yeah. Do you know if these are our copies or someone's photocopied them? I just don't want to steal someone else's.
I have no idea what these are. They were here.
Alright, cool. And are you in charge of all the audio?
Well, it's just a button.
Are we using the other companies or just...
No.
acknowledge the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners of the land in which we meet and play upon today. We pay our respects to their elders of the past, present and emerging, with acknowledgement to the spiritual connection they have to country. We would like to acknowledge any traditional owners and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that may be present here with us today. We extend our respect to their culture, traditions, aspirations and knowledge that connects us together upon country today. Well, a big welcome everybody once again here today. The team lineups for the 2025 Steph Catley Plate Final has been confirmed. Let's start first. Please put your hands together for the Manningham United Blues FC. We are welcoming onto the field today player number 1, Katrina Diaz. Number 3, Alana Fenton. Number 5, Abby Collins. Number 7, Hayley Dixon. Number 8, Romy Heasley. Number 12, Yana Malakinis. Number 13, Stephanie Dufas. Number 14, Ellie Pantazopoulos. Number 22, Nagiko Chiba. 24, Tamika Jose. Player number 25, Paige Ihaka. Today's substitute players are player number 2, Deanna Ramsey. Player number 4, Kat King. Number 10, Chloe Randazzo. Number 11, Jessica Tong. Number 15, Holly Eckert. And player number 31, Eva Garopolis. Welcoming coach Paul McCarthy and assistant coach Sam Gossett. And that is your team, Manningham United Blues. Please now welcome today's second team onto the field. It is Caroline Springs George Cross FC. First up, player number 1, Emma Tumar. Number 2, Monique Horizon. Number 8, Olivia Barali. Number 9, Jacqueline Hatzema. Number 11, Hannah Fox. Number 12, Katrina Sekanidis. Player number 20, Paige Daly. Number 22, Minami Yamasaki.
It is a very good afternoon to everybody tuning in here on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. It's been a huge weekend of cup football action here thus far in Victoria at the home of the Matildas. An exciting day it was yesterday, and we can expect the very same here this afternoon, maybe even just a little bit more juicier. We had a phenomenal day of men's cup action yesterday. The Cecil Early Plate taking place here yesterday between two State League rivals, the Whittlesea Rangers and Mill Park Soccer Club. What an exciting contest that one was. Mill Park walking away the victors with a 3-2 win over the Rangers and the game winner kick in the very last minute of regular time. And of course that phenomenal display in the Doherty Cup final between Heidelberg United and South Melbourne. South Melbourne becoming the most successful Doherty Cup team of all time, clinching their 10th Doherty Cup here last night after trailing 1-0 in the early stages against the Burgers. It was a never-say-die performance from Hellas, fighting until the very last minute, defying all the odds and toppling Heidelberg, who have been quite literally unstoppable over the last 2 months in the NPL Victoria men's competition. However, South Melbourne, they proved it's too strong, and Campbell Dovison was the man who kicked both goals and gave South the win. However, that was yesterday, and this is today, a brand new day that can lead to all different sorts of drama. Part 2 of Hellas and Alexandros to come a little later on in the Nike FC Cup final. However, we are focused here. The first inaugural Steph Catley Plate to be contested between Manningham United and George Cross. It should be an epic matchup here this afternoon. I am Stefan Djordjic. Along, join me in the commentary booth is the one and only Han Solo. Han, it is great to be working with you once again.
Great to be here, and what a wonderful afternoon. You cannot expect any better conditions as this. We saw it yesterday for the men's, and the skies have just opened up for us today, and it's like the most premium conditions you could ever get. The only downside, the sun may play an impact to which side is kicking from the right side of the broadcast end. Other than that, I'm going to expect big action and big occasion for the Steph Catley Cup.
100% agree. I don't know what was worse. I don't know if what will be worse, actually, the sun or the parking coming in here. There was so much traffic coming in here into the home of the Matildas car park. It was bonkers. I don't know how I managed to find parking. I don't know if you did either.
I don't know. I was very lucky today, but those that are coming in later on for the Nike Cup, be warned. There is a lot of traffic. There's a footy going on next to us and a lot lot of action here at Latrobe. But yeah, I would come here early if you can.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. But however, the pitch looks gorgeous right now. Both of the two teams are ready. We'll give you the lineups for both of these two teams. I'll run you through Manningham United. We've got number 3, Alana Fenton. Number 5, Abby Collins. Number 7, Hayley Dixon. Number 8, the captain, Romy Healsley. Number 12, Yanni Malapanis. Number 13, Stephanie Doofus. Number 14, Ellie Pantazopoulos. Number 22, Nagiko Chuba. Number 24, Tamika Josie. Number 25, Paige Ihaka. And number 1, in goal, Karina Diaz.
And for the George Cross team, they're in the all red. We've got number 2, Monique Harrison. Number 8 is Olivia Barali, the captain. Number 9 is Jacqueline Hartzema. 11 is Hannah Fox. 12 is Katrina Salakides. In goals, we've got number 35 today, Paige Daly, and 22 is Minami Yamasaki. 23 is Zoe Stammer. Taylor Gonzalez is 24. Carla Paligra, 33, and Nicole Cooper, number 36.
Should be a cracking contest here at the home of the Matildas between these two sides. Both of the two retrospective sides going through their last-minute checkups, but Han, you've actually called and you've seen some of these two teams play. I haven't. I'm going pretty fresh into these ones, apart from looking at some of the previous encounters that they've had on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. But you can feel all the ladies and gentlemen that are tuning in right now on what we can expect from these two sides.
Oh, these two sides, they've had probably the best Nike Cup journey that we've ever seen from these two sides. We saw last year, I was here with Manningham and Clifton Hill. It was such a tight contest, 1-0 in the end. And it was just unfortunate for Clifton that they're not here tonight, but Manningham is the one that knocked them out in the, I can't remember, what was round 5, and they were right here, 1-0 that one. They did verse Heidelberg, but I'll let you get started on that while we continue on talking about the journey.
Well, kickoff is just about to get underway here. Directly in the centre of the pitch to kick us off is Nicole Cooper. Nicole Cooper, who will kick us off here at the home of the Matildas. And the Steph Catley plate is underway. The first inaugural Steph Catley plate, might I add. And already, George Cross is going to look to try and attack early on. What on earth? Already straight out of the gates, George Cross fire the first blow. And you could tell how much they want it. George Cross came ready to play. How about that, Han Solo?
I didn't even expect it. It was 3 touches from the kickoff. And it was just, I don't think Manningham was set up or even ready for what was going their way. That was the quickest goal I've ever seen in a competition like this. Must be a record-breaking goal.
I have never seen a quicker goal in my life. Normally you talk about quick knockouts in the UFC or something like that. That is a quick first blow here at the home of the Matildas, and the Steph Catley plate. Minami Yamasaki giving the first blow and giving the opening goal for George Cross. And that is going to shake up Manningham United straight off the bat. And here she is, right on cue, Minami Yamasaki. Boy, oh boy, did that catch everyone off by surprise. That's one way to get your Steph Catley final underway, isn't it?
Absolutely. It came in from nowhere. She took her chance, went, hey, this is a big occasion. This is the first time I've ever played on this pitch. Let's make an impact. And they did exactly that. George Cross are up and about, and they want to win.
Well, it completely caught off Karina Diaz, who was in goal. I don't think even she expected that one to go in. I thought it was going to be a cross. She was going to try and maybe cross it back into Nicole Cooper, who has been on the receiving end of so many of those crosses. But that first blow landing George Cross's way, and I'm sure the first of many here this afternoon. What a goal. I can't believe that.
I can't believe it either. And you're talking about Diaz in goals. A big loss is not having Mazals in goals on this particular game. We didn't confirm if she was injured or just not unavailable in this occasion, but Diaz, I think she's got really big boots to fill tonight.
Yeah, she definitely is. And as you said, Maisel, she's a former Melbourne Victory player as well, former goalkeeper, and the former goalkeeper for the team that will be in the Nike FC Cup from Heidelberg United as well. So at the moment, it's a bit of a hefty blow for Manningham United, but we'll see if they can try and respond. Already they're going to look to try and go back on the counter-attack. I'm sure they'd want to get one back on the scoreboard. That is a big-time goal in the opening stages of this one. However, I'm sure both these two teams are going to settle into this game. Watch for Manningham to try and really bounce back. And already they're playing some hefty defense on that back third, pressuring Caroline, or George Cross, I should say, into a mistake. Ball's in the center of the park right now. Cheeb up. Here's Doofus, who just lost the ball to her. So 1-0 in the early stages of this one. Han Solo, what can we expect for Manningham in this one for them to really settle into this game?
Defensively, they're just going to be a little bit more structured and keep their eye really on the ball and keep a close eye on number 22, Yamasaki. You just saw her there. Just when she's got that ball, she just, without a fail, knows how to hit it. So they're going to keep a really close eye on her today, and I think she's going to be one to target. And
already, I mean, after that first one, she's definitely going to be the one that'll be on the receiving end of a lot of attacking opportunities. And just the ball just being tipped around at the moment between both these two sides. So it'll be interesting to see how Manningham can respond. And can they respond on this occasion? Malapanis just lost the ball prematurely there, and it's Pelligra wearing that white headband, managing to re-pick up the possession. Both these two teams playing quite heavy upon one another. We'll see who can try and really settle back in. Here's Manningham once again. Going again to Malapanis. She's been the target already on a couple of attacks. Can Manningham reply? And not quite on that occasion. Looking at where they sit, Manningham United are currently third on the table in the State League 1 South-East competition. Caroline Springs sitting second in the State League 1 North-West. So at the moment, both these two teams, they are the strong teams. Both are bidding for a spot in the Victorian Premier League. Which one do you think might have their chances a little bit better compared to the other one of these two, Han?
Oh, it doesn't get any closer than these two teams. You mentioned their positioning, but 8 wins for the both of them. 2 draws for George Cross. Manningham's got 3 draws, 4 losses to George. So they've started the season a little bit slow, did lose to a few games that they shouldn't have, but they've come out strong. I feel after that game they had with Heidelberg United in the Nike Cup, I think it was round 2 or whatever it was, they played a lot better after that. Only losing 4-0 to the top team. After that, their confidence built and they started winning. Something happened in that game after that Nike Cup game against Heidelberg, and now this team is bigger and stronger, better than ever.
Yeah, the tide has definitely changed for them. Manningham United going down to actually both of these two teams have one thing in common, might I add, actually. And we'll hold on to that thought as Yamasaki again, and this time she is called for the offside in the first one of the afternoon. Both these two teams, Hansol, have one thing in common that I was telling you about off air. They both went down to Heidelberg United, who are in the Nike FC Cup that'll be taking place later on. Crazy, huh?
It is crazy, though. George Cross only lost 4-0, and that was in round 5. Manningham, though, it was a bigger loss. Was it 7-0? 6-0 in the end.
6-0 in the end. It was 7-0 that Burundara United, or Bandura United, I should say, ended up going down.
So for them, not a bad feat to have that. 4-0 is a pretty big effort for them. Manningham, I think they just lost in the second half. That's where they've got to be really crucial. You've got to have that momentum. You've got to have the endurance to go all the way. If you lose sight at all in the last, say, 20 minutes of the game, that might be the end of it for you. So they've got to really stick to their guns for the entire 90 minutes.
That's definitely right. And here is Hart Zemmer ahead of the football. Can she get another one for George Cross? Not on that occasion, but boy, are George Cross getting a little bit etchy here with some of these attacks. And you can definitely tell they're going to be very dangerous up front. I mean, the first goal being scored in a whopping, dare I say, it was about 20 seconds, not even. But we'll see how Manningham can try and stop this attack from George Cross. George Cross playing quite heavy up in their forward half, or up in their forward third, I should say. Here's Dixon. Going to play it back off, and once again, Pelligra managing to retain the possession. George Cross, here's Yamasaki again, and once again, it's Dixon managing to kick that one away. Manningham United did pretty well getting to the quarterfinals, then getting bumped down to, as we just mentioned, Heidelberg, and then in round 5, it was George Cross who got bumped out. But, I mean, even though they both went down to Heidelberg United, let's not go on record and say that Heidelberg United are no easy feat by far. I mean, yet to concede a goal in their entire Nike FC Cup campaign, Han.
There must be some record on that. How they make it so impossible to score against them. So South Melbourne, they are up for that challenge today after this game for the Nike Cup. So Heidelberg, credit to them, they've managed to structurally be a hard team to beat. So defensively, that's what I feel Manningham has to be tonight, is you have to stay structurally in defensively and not allow George Cross to slip through.
At the moment, George Cross are finding little gaps to try and really slip through, but we'll see if that'll be the case as they do settle into this one. As we mentioned, a gorgeous day here at the home of the Matildas, might we add as well. If you are coming down later on to the Nike FC Cup, make sure to make the most out of it, because this is a beautiful Melbourne weather right now. It's not very often that at the start of August we're used to seeing the sun out like this. Normally the rain is coming down, and already George Cross look to try and attack here yet again. Ihaka kicking it back up towards Malapanis. So George Cross will throw this one in directly in front of the Manningham United dugouts. And Ihaka once again kicking that one out. Manningham United as well. We talk about teams not conceding a goal. They were also a team that went on a stretch without conceding a goal as well, all the way to the quarterfinals. They started off 3-0 win against Barton United, and a 5-0 win in round 3 against Monash University. And we're actually going to hold on to that thought. And this time, though, there's a good save there by Diaz. And then a 5-0 win against Noble Park United, also known as Drina in the Serbian community. And then a 1-0 win against Clifton Hill that you were here actually for, Han Solo. So I'll tell you what, this Manningham United team, the way that they ended up going, they definitely had a lot of confidence, that's for sure.
They sure did, and they looked so strong in that particular game. It was a big occasion. We also had another Nike Cup game on the other pitch as well, and they happened to be on the main pitch. So for them, it was something that they absorbed a lot of the pressure, and luckily for them, they were able to score a goal. I believe it was from a penalty. So to get that upper hand just brings that confidence. But then when you go up against a team like Heidelberg, it's a tough one. And, you know, there's really nothing much you can do when you go up against an NPL team when you're still in the state league competition. So Manningham, to not concede in the first 4 rounds is actually credit to them. A team that works together as a unit and really hard to control, especially in the forward front.
Well, they're definitely right. We're going to have to wait and see how Manningham do try and attack. Obviously, George Cross just outclassing them at the moment with the way that they're playing, retaining majority of the possession in the early stages of this one. It'll be exciting to see how Manningham does fare, I should say. So we'll have a free kick here for Manningham United on that far side. Ball's going to go to Heelsley, the captain, wearing that red armband. Here's Panthazopoulos, who's one of their trusty defenders that Manningham United do have, stopping quite a few balls that do come her way. Here comes Manningham now, going to look to try and attack. It was Collins and long 2 with Doofus. Doofus is going to be one to watch out for. Ball's going to be crossed forwards, off to Malapanis. Could this be a real first chance here for Manningham? But not quite. But Manningham have definitely looked to settle into this one now, Han. They're definitely finding their rhythm now.
They certainly are. They are trying to go for the right wing situation there, but I feel George Cross have really done their homework, really nitpick the little things that they've got. So Kat Salakidi is just there on the wing side of the back line for George Cross, just making sure the ball goes as wide as possible and shut down the cutbacks. But if they can let one through, you just saw there a few players, especially Shuba, she's just lurking in that back post situation, just to ensure that you got to get that ball to her first. So they're just struggling a little bit, but they're getting a little bit better and they're tweaking a little bit of their set plays.
You're definitely 100% right there. Here's Zoe Starmer. Going to look to try and progress the ball forwards, and at the moment George Cross just seemed to be a little bit stuck right now. Manningham definitely spreading out and not allowing George Cross to really find any gaps as they were in the early stages. So you can see a whole bunch of seagulls just flying across here. They want a little bit of the Steph Catley plate action here as well. Glad you could be with us as well here. Don't go anywhere. This is just the start of what should be a cracking day of football. This is a nice little tasty entree for what should be the main course later on between two big-time teams, Hellas and Alexandros. Who do you like your chances more, Han Solo, in that Nike FC Cup final?
It's a tough one to call because both teams are just so hungry for it. You can just tell that, that they're going to go all the way to the end. I'm not surprised if it's going to go to an extra time or even a penalty shootout. Tough call. I would put my money on Heidelberg, but that's just what I would see. And in their journey to the finals is Heidelberg. They just feel like as a unit, they've just been such an incredible team this season, and it's their best one yet. Yeah,
100% without a doubt. This could be an opportunity here for Manningham United. And not quite to be on that occasion. It was Abby Collins getting involved in that one. But I think 100% you're right with that one. I think Heidelberg are head and shoulders the favourites coming into this weekend. I mean, again, haven't conceded a goal. They've been on a win streak that has been quite unlike anything we have really ever seen before in the NPL women's competition. I mean, they've got such a well-rounded team, so much depth in that team as well. I mean, you go the likes of Tamar Levin, Sarah O'Donoghue, I should say. I mean, Sawa Matsuda, who's currently the Golden Boot leader at the moment as well. I mean, how many more goals does she even need?
Just a few to round up the tally. But yeah, Sawa Matsuda, the one to look out for. And then you got Asuki Miyata, as you mentioned, Isabella Wallhead, the whole team, Kat Verhoffless. It's the entire team, every single player, ones that you can name and memorize because they're so good.
Here's Malapanas. Fenton is inside the box. Couldn't quite have enough space. She had Monique Ray-Horson directly in front of her. Monique Ray-Horson, who I believe is a sister to Charlotte Ray-Horson in the FV Academy, who actually plays here, FV Academy does. So her sister here, not sure if it's her older sister or not, but if Charlotte is watching, a big hello, how are you to you? I don't think she's expecting a shout out considering her sister's out here playing. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But we've got a corner coming up here for Manningham United. And it will be Nagiko Chiba to take this one. So Manningham are going to look to try and equalise the scoreboard here at 1 apiece and really try and get back into this game. They've been playing a bit of catch-up in this one. It's a low ball. Malapanas was in the back, but she couldn't quite get there in time. And the ball will be booted away. So at the moment, Manningham have definitely found their rhythm at the moment, and they're definitely settling into this one quite the way that they want to. Be interesting to see how George Cross can try and counteract the way that they're playing, because, I mean, Manningham, over the last couple minutes, it's been all Manningham here. Here's Pantazopoulos. Going to clear it out to her teammate. To Harker. And George Cross now just going to tip it around directly in the centre of the park, going all the way back off to Starmer. Starmer, who hasn't had too much action in this game at the moment. We'll see how this game unfolds, if she can get some more touches of the football. And Pantazopoulos yet again doing what she can to retain possession. What have you found so far in the early stages of this one between both these two sides here, Han?
Looking pretty good. I feel like they're just adapting to the conditions. The pitch is a little bit dry. It's it's half synthetic, half real grass, and you've got the sun going on it, so it's not as kind of dewy and slippery as you normally would have on a pitch. So they might have to give it a little bit of a sprinkle in between the two games, but it is a bit dry out there.
Well, it did. Ooh, it was a very, very close one indeed. There it was from Nicole Cooper. I was about to get up and about. 2-0 it would have been for George Cross. But at the moment, though, 16 degrees here in Melbourne. It's beautiful weather. The pitch last night after the Doherty Cup got quite dewy. So we'll see how it ends up faring and ends up holding up here, especially for the game later on for the Nike FC Cup final. But I think this pitch, again, one of the more well-maintained pitches here in Victoria. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar facility here at the home of the Matildas in Bundoora. That multi-million-dollar facility, as you can see, in your distance with that crowd walking in. No other place you'd want to play football than right here. Dixon under it. Yamasaki going to play it off to Hartzema and Pantazopoulos. It's a one-on-one between Pantazopoulos and Hartzema. Dixon's getting involved. Here's Hartzema. Plays it back off to Yamasaki. Yamasaki, the opening goal scorer in this one from the zone where she scored the other one. Not quite to be on that occasion. And the ball will be kicked away by Barale. Olivia Barale, the captain for George Cross, trying to get involved here as well. So far, both of these two are definitely trading blows at one another. Ehaka thought about the kick. Ehaka and Pantazopoulos, they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them. That attacking third for George Cross, such a lethal one. They're definitely going to have their head on a swivel. Here comes George Cross again. Nicole Cooper. Beautiful little chest control there. Cooper still on the ball here with an open goal square. It was Diaz who came out, but luckily just in the nick of time. Ball managing to just cross over that line, and a little sigh of relief there for Manningham United.
Diaz came out and did put her body in the line. Probably could have got a hand on it first just to deflect it away, but it was all Cooper that applied that forward pressure. So they've got her, Hatsema, and then Yamasaki on the forward front at the moment. They're just applying it, just maintaining that control in the forefront and just building up that pressure.
I'm surprised no Lola Button playing for Manningham United. She's had quite a number of goals in their Nike FC Cup campaign thus far. Had 3 goals already. So that's a big surprise that she isn't making the start. I'm assuming she's probably on the bench, so she definitely will be making the switch at some stage if Manningham United do end up trailing. Barale plays it forwards. Good little sell of the candy there. Forwards off to Yamasaki. And Karina Diaz there, managing to clean that one up in the nick of time. And we have a player down here in the middle of the pitch for Manningham United. We'll wait until we can get confirmation of which player that exactly is. But we will get the medic on. So a little bit of halt in play here in the Steph Catley plate. What a day it was yesterday here, by the way, shall we say. The Cecil Early plate, I mean, that came right down to the wire. The final goal being kicked in the very last minute of regular time. You couldn't write the script any better than that. Those two State League teams went hammer and toe at it against one another.
That's what we like to see, Stefan. It's the way that they just bring so much passion to the game, and everything, every minute and every second of the game matters the most. We did see a little bit of that with George Cross when they were able to get the win from Clifton Hill. It was just that kind of last moment, 93rd minute goal that we saw there from Jackie Hatsema. So she might step up to the plate. If it has to come down to the wire, give it to Jackie Hatsema. She might be able to win it for her team. So at the moment, they're looking cool, calm and collected. George Cross, they've got that first goal behind them. It's a matter of time now if Manningham can respond to that.
I'm sure Manningham definitely want to respond, and at the moment, maybe George Cross might be adding to 2, and it is an offside call there by George Cross. George Cross getting a little bit etchy here at the moment. They definitely want their second one, but we'll see how they can try and fare with their opportunities. Manningham have really stepped it up over the last 10 or so minutes. Definitely not allowing George Cross to dominate like they did. They definitely had a whole bunch of confidence after when they scored that opening goal. It was a mirage of attack by George Cross that Manningham, they just took it on the chin and they kept on fighting. Even though they are down just the 1 goal, they're definitely in this one, and you can definitely tell with the playing group out there, they definitely know that they have nothing to lose out here.
Nothing at all, and it's just the occasion of the game. They're here, they're experiencing it all. It's their second time in this competition that they're playing here at the home of the Matildas. George Cross, it's their first ever opportunity to experience the whole guidance of the home of the Matildas. So for them, they're taking it on board, and they've got nothing to lose either. They feel like they're the underdogs. They had to play against Clifton Hill first to get them here where they are. Manningham, got that automatic promotion onto the finals. So for them, they're just going to build it and trust the process, because still plenty of game time to go.
Do you think that contest that George Cross had against Clifton Hill might have helped him actually hold on to that thought, as we might have an attack here? But do you think that might? Do you think that clash that George Cross had against Clifton Hill might have actually helped them going into this game, because they are obviously still got that experience and obviously playing a game? Do you think that might have helped them coming into this one, hon?
Definitely build that confidence, because they even coming into that game thought they weren't going to win it. So they almost thought from the underdogs, Clifton progressed more into the Nike Cup. So for them, I think they just feel how that underdog syndrome to them, knowing that they've got nothing to lose. Win or lose, they still give it their all. They still fight it to the end. Same as when they versed against Heidelberg. They gave it their all and still were happy after that game that they really only lost 4-0, and that was quite a big effort for them. So they're going to just come in charging, knowing that this is just do or die for them.
It is, and another offside call here by our officials. I'll take you also through the referees, which I actually haven't done so, but I'll run you through the referees as well while we're at it. Our head referee is Lauren White. Our assistant referee number 1 is Labrini Olarias. Assistant referee number 2 is Lena Georgiev. And our fourth official is Zamzam Kasab. So those are the officials in charge of this one, of controlling and conducting. And so far, it's running pretty smoothly. No yellow cards yet, which is a little bit of a rarity. We're normally used to seeing a little bit of yellow cards come out in the early stages of this one, but both teams have been pretty subtle so far. Doofus couldn't quite manage to create anything of that one.
So far, we might see some come out in the second half, but it's been pretty even and pretty clean in the first half. They've just relying more on their skills and their tactics more than trying to get each other's heads at this stage.
100% agree. Here's Yamasaki in the middle of the park. Tried to play it off to Nicole Cooper. And instead, it was Ihaka. Going to play it down the line to Malapanis. Malapanis, who's already been the target on a number of occasions already, targeting that right wing where she is. You can definitely see the way that Manningham want to play is they really want to stretch out George Cross and try and rely on that crossing, which is kind of how George Cross scored their first goal, actually.
Just draw it in. That right side they favour quite a lot, so they're just going to utilise that avenue time and time again and just try to get that diagonal cross in as best as they can.
Dixon managing to just get there in the nick of time against Yamasaki. So we've got a corner coming up here for George Cross on this near side, right where the scoreboard is. Normally we're used to seeing it on the far side. This time we're seeing the back of it, but luckily the fans can see where the scoreboard is. They can see it in just the reflection of the glasses of the home of the Matildas facility, right where those corporate boxes are. Here's Yamasaki again, who's got Dixon for company. Dixon yet again managing to kick that one just out of play. Still to be George Cross's ball as well. And it will be Gonzalez to throw it in. Taylor Gonzalez. She's a player who's had a number of NPL experience. Played for Brunswick Juventus. Here's Hart Zemar. Couldn't quite connect with the kick. Manningham playing a good little bit of defense here at the moment. Not allowing George Cross to break away at any other opportunities on goal. So we'll see how Manningham can fare at the moment. They're just struggling to really connect with some of their passes from the midfield up to their attacking third. We'll see if they can try and clean it up as the game does progress. And this is definitely going to be a midfield battle at the moment. Gonzalez plays it off to Yamasaki. And that one only just rolled over the line. And it will be Manningham United to throw it back in.
So far, Manningham, they've just got a lot of players behind the ball, but they're not just quick to retrieve it as well. You've got George Cross reading the play, reading what the next move is, and then just winning the ball at all costs. So Manningham, they're just going to find a way, open up a little bit more and communicate to where the players need to be, because they're just losing the ball a little bit too often in the back line.
George Cross just dominating ahead of the football at the moment. How can Manningham settle in? Fenton trying to fight the possession. And here comes George Cross yet again. At the moment, just a whole bunch of bodies in and around the football. No, either retrospective team can really find an opening at the moment.
Running to each other as well. They're just... It's like, am I getting the ball or you are getting the ball?
It's a little bit of argy-bargy out there, let's just say that, Han. Every player wants it out there. We're just going to have to wait and see who's going to be the one who is going to walk away with the possession. I'd love to see how Manningham can really look to attack and open up this back third of George Cross. George Cross just seemed very tame in the back line. Really, as you said, have definitely done their research on how Manningham play, and they've really set themselves up well, not allowing Manningham to play the style of football that they want. Here's Fenton, one-on-one with Ray Horson. Collins going to play it off to Doofus. And once again, just that failed last pass not going the way that Manningham wanted to go.
Yeah, a little bit easier to get more of the vision from Manningham. They've got 2 games that were streamed, so you actually can rewatch. The only way you can watch George Cross is if you have to physically go to those games for the Nike competition. So Manningham, you can rewatch a lot of their games and see how their style of play is. George Cross, a little bit tricky to get that information without actually being on the pitch on game day. So that's where you get the advantage from, is George Cross able to rewatch and nitpick and figure out the players and their structure. Where George Cross, they're not doing a bad way out there at the moment. They're keeping it really in control on the tempo of the game flow of how they want it to be in today's game. So not long in the first half, but I would feel the coach for Manningham will just writing a lot of notes at the moment and trying to figure out how to break down George Cross at the moment.
I think that's the toughest part as well, when your opposition has played games, but you actually don't know how they've played. You can only see the scoreline. But I think that's the hardest part that Manningham have had to do, is that they haven't had the luxury, shall we say, of doing their homework on George Cross. Unlike George Cross, being able to really, as you said, nitpick and really work their way around how they want to attack this game against Manningham United. And you can definitely see that they've done their research, because they're just closing all the opportunities that Manningham want to play. Could this be an opportunity here for Manningham, and a slip up there in the middle of the pitch by Fenton slipping over? Alana Fenton. Maybe that's a little bit of dew that was left over from last night's Doherty Cup game.
A few patches still left on the pitch.
Tell you what, those boys went hammer and toe at it with the way that they played. Heidelberg, they played phenomenal, but I'll tell you what, it was South Melbourne Hellas who just head and shoulders that second half. Never say die attitude of the way that they played. Opening stages of the second half, Campbell Dovison didn't even start the game as well and ended up being subbed into the second half. I bet you Sinisiako Hazdic is probably looking back and he's like, I tell you what, maybe if we started him, we wouldn't have had the headache of going down 1-0 in that first half. But nevertheless, though, Campbell Dovison, dare I say it, probably deserves a statue to be built outside of Lakeside Stadium with the way that he played. How can you not forget about that game-winning goal? I mean, Noel Bonata was inside. Jack Pope had a shot. Neither one of them could really get past Yaron Souza, and then the final finishing touch from Campbell Dovison, who was making his way up from the halfway, marching his way forwards. Could this be a chance here for Manningham? And not quite on that occasion. Beautiful piece of goalkeeping there by Paige Daly.
That's probably the first time Paige has actually been tested in a way that the ball is threatening in her box, but they've got to try a little bit harder than that, Manningham. Draw that ball in, find the target like Shuba. She's hungry. She wants that ball to connect to her, but it hasn't been really that ball guiding its way to the area that she wants it to. So she knows she's ball hungry, just hasn't been the night for the day for Manningham to connect with the players. And it's slow out there. This sun and these dry conditions, it's making that ball a little bit slower than what it would be normally on a what would we say, an August day, a normal winter, wet, windy day.
100% agree, Han. It's definitely a slow-paced game out there, which, again, we're not really used to seeing. Here's Hart Zemmer, and a cross, and the header attempt in the back was very, very close by George Cross. What a goal that one would have been to give him a 2-0 lead there. That would have been absolutely phenomenal. The cross looked beautiful. The header was on, but just couldn't quite connect there. It was a game of millimetres. However, Manningham yet again breathing another sigh of relief. However, they're not just out of it yet. Yamasaki tried to cross it in. George Cross at the moment. They've played quite a few crosses in from this near side of the pitch, targeting Yamasaki. She's definitely been the one on numerous occasions that George Cross have gone to. Collins going to play it forwards. And Malapanis getting involved in the action there. You can see her, that never say die attitude, not giving an inch, managing to just sneak the ball off and retain possession. Starmer at the end for George Cross, managing to put them in the safe hold. And here comes George Cross ahead of the football once again. Hart Zemmer, who's one-on-one with Panthers-Opolis. She can do whatever she wants here. Instead, she's going to take a shot from well beyond range. And again, slipping over the pitch. A little bit of juice still left over from yesterday. If this is what we're getting in this one here, Han, I cannot wait to see how much slippages there's going to be in that Nike FC Cup final later on.
Especially in the second half where the sun will go down and that kind of fog will come upon us here, especially in Bandura. It's something about the conditions when nightfall, it gets a different pitch. You feel it. The conditions, it's a little bit more wet, a little bit more kind of action. It's exciting when you got daytime football and then nighttime falls in the second half. It's completely different game. But just then, that passage of play from George Cross, they look so promising in that confidence coming from Hadzema. You don't see that in State League sometimes, but to see it all in action here at the home of the Matildas, they're bringing out the big guns. They're bringing every single trick they have in that hat of theirs, George Cross. They'll come it off, they'll bring it out and just keep trying, but it's more now Manningham have to really shut them down.
They definitely do. Here is Yamasaki, who's had her kind of duel here at the moment with Hayley Dixon together. They've always been together, hammer and toe. Wherever Yamasaki has been, Hayley Dixon has said to her, wherever you are, I am as well. So definitely not letting Yamasaki off the hook that easily. She's definitely wants to get her back after that opening one that George Cross had. But you're definitely right about those conditions. A completely different atmosphere when the nightfall does come here in Bandura. Slightly more chillier and a lot more moisture in the air. So it'll be interesting to see how the game obviously does start. A twilight game it is. We'll start with sunny conditions, and obviously the second half will settle in. The moisture will get in the air. The different atmosphere will connect. Love to see a little bit of extra time in that one, especially for all the fans out here. I mean, it's a matchup that on paper, Han, you can definitely see going the full distance, maybe even all the way to penalties.
Oh, it's going to be an exciting game, and even if it does, it's the nature of the two teams that aren't going to give up easily at all. You know, you've got one captain being Steph Catley for Heidelberg that just have so much passion and heart to the team. Fran Iamano for South Melbourne, you saw it in the highlights before the game. She's just got so much going into this game as a team collectively. So it's just so hard to pick and hard to predict of how it's going to go, but I expect it's going to be high octane from the beginning.
It definitely will be high octane. It'll be interesting to see how South Melbourne do fare against Heidelberg. Again, as we already mentioned, Heidelberg, such a strong team. I mean, they're built for this big-time occasion with the way that they've assembled their team after that mid-season transfer, bringing in the likes of, as I already mentioned, Sarah O'Donoghue, Tamar Levin. I mean, the likes of A-League caliber players. I mean, the player that's really surprised me, Isabel Wallhead as well. I mean, probably the conductor of their back third. And I mean, obviously up front as well, Caitlin Cuttage as well. Some of those names how will South Melbourne really try and handle and really tame those A-League players with such high-level experience?
They're just going to do and trust the process. You see, as a collective, South Melbourne, they work so well. They're just such a glue. But when that glue breaks apart sometimes, in big occasion, they do break down a little bit. There's games, especially in the normal season, that we find there a little bit unpredictable.
And here is Nicole Cooper ahead of the football. Off to Hartzemmer, who's got an open goal square. She's going to roll it in and only just going past the sidebar. Couldn't quite connect with it well enough. However, that would have been an astronomical way to put them up 2-0. A slow ball going in to the bottom right-hand corner. Denied on that occasion. However, I'm sure they would have loved that one to go in. And you almost feel that the momentum would have been in full swing for George Cross. Considering Manningham have been fighting back in this first half. Definitely taken George Cross's best efforts. As the cross will go in. And it will hit the roof of the netting there. So George Cross is just going to look to try and recuperate. And yet another sigh of relief there for Manningham.
A little bit there. There are just too many close calls for Manningham United in a game like this. And Jackie Hartzemmer, she is goal hungry. She's banging on the door. It's just a matter of time she's going to find a key to unlock it. But at this stage, George Cross, they're just taking their chances. Anything they've been told, and one thing only on their minds is, if you can shoot it and if it's open, I'm going to go for it. And Hartzemmer has nothing to lose in a game like this. So they're just going to continue those particular plays if they're within range.
We are coming up to the last dying stages of this first half. I think the one exciting part about the back end of the season not only is finals, but also promotion and relegation. Who's going to be promoted up into the top flight competition and who's going to be relegated back down into the VPL. The one team that is really interesting me at the moment that will be promoted, and I'm actually interested to see how they're going to fare against some of these NPL women's teams, is Avondale. I mean, they are a team that has been unstoppable. They have been undefeated in the VPL women's competition. They are on 19 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. They have scored 113 goals this season. 113 is almost an AFL-like stat. Normally we don't get that in football, but getting 100, over 100, let alone over 80 goals is a feat within itself. They are a team that is dominating down there in VPL too, aren't they, Han?
They sure are, and not long ago they were playing in State League. They were playing against these teams not one season ago, and transformation going into the VPL, and now, you know, going into the NPL. That's the one thing that they've got on their mind, is similar to other teams that you see transitioning over to from the State League teams to VPL to NPL, like you see in Spring Hills. They are nitty and gritty from the get-go. They did the hard yards starting from the bottom and then slowly moving their way up. And the way they've also introduced a lot of players to score those goals is a feat to them. So Avondale, credit to them. They've found players that get them where they are, and they've just been so phenomenal in the way the style of the play is. So that's for them is such a big reward to get them promoted to NPL, and they deserve that.
They 100% do. And along to another team that is also bidding for a spot in the top flight is Keilor Park. Keilor Park, who've been phenomenal. They're knocking on the window of that 100 goal throughout their season. They're on 99. They only need just the one more, and they're also broken through to the 100. But I mean, it's been Avondale and Keilor Park in the VPL that have really dominated the entire season.
Oh, the top three, even including Bandura in there, they're just such powerhouse teams, and they've got players that are just so unstoppable. Keilor, you know, they're a very physical team. Avondale, they just rely more on their skill, but Keilor, they're bringing the physicality, which gets them such a long way in VPL in the top flight, and then if they were, you know, going into NPL, they'll compete against those physical teams anyway. So it's such a close competition between the bottom of the NPL and the top of the VPL. You can almost compete them with each other and wouldn't really know the result in the end. So very tight contest between the top flight of VPL and the bottom of NPL. So they should almost just add in more teams.
I 100% agree with you. There are two players in the George Cross lineup that have actually played for Avondale, that being Megan Nedelkov and Danielle Morgeri. Those two females playing for Avondale over the past couple years. Obviously, Danielle McGarry making the switch back to George Cross after spending her 2024 with Avondale. She was one of those key players in the team that actually helped them become the State League 1 Northwest champions, earning them that promotion up into VPLW, and they're definitely going to be earning a double promotion with the way that they're going up into the top flight. It'd be great to see Avondale. I mean, the way that the men's have been playing in the NPL men's competition, arguably, dare I say, probably the best NPL team in Australia. It'd be great to see the women's also in the top flight as well. And we just have Yamasaki, who's gone down there holding on to her midsection. Hopefully she's all right. A couple players as well who have also played for Keilor Park as well. That one being Kat Talakides for George Cross. And also Danielle Rodriguez, who's also one of the key players for George Cross, who are very often some of the leading players, dare I say, for George Cross that really like to lead the torch and really lead well. So George Cross with a free kick. Both teams have definitely been playing ball to ball. Ball's going to be flared out towards Malapanas, who's one-on-one, as I mentioned, with Talakides. And it will be George Cross's ball. And correction, no, it won't. It's going to be Manningham's ball. So we hark up to throw it in. There's a nice little ball off to Chiba. Chiba, who might go for shot here, and the first real shot inside the box for Manningham United, only just sailing over the crossbar.
Yeah, Shiba was a little bit under pressure, got two defenders on her, so she had to really nail that kick. Credit to her to even got a foot on her, but it's down to the millimetres here in this game. We saw time and time again with so many shots that's been taken under so much pressure, but still so close to it. And Shiba, she is goal hungry. She just wants that opportunity, and that's probably the first time we've seen it in this game where Shiba's got that ball and we're able to control it too. She's
definitely playing up in that central attacking midfielder position, which at the moment is where she's looking most dangerous. Whenever she is ahead of the football, and this woman as well is dangerous whenever she is ahead of the football as well. Nicole Cooper, who's had a malice of a game so far, had quite a number of possession up forward. Here's Tsakalides. And instead, it's Pelligra. And in the meantime, we've had 2 minutes announced of extra time here, and it will be an offside here for George Cross.
Not too much stoppages that was occurring. It's probably two little minor players that were down, but not too far. But 2 minutes is, well-deserved rest for a lot of these players. If you already got their sleeves up, you could feel that the heat's coming to their style of play. So plenty of Gatorade and Powerade throughout the halftime break. Probably some oranges as well that will help with a little bit of the cramping. But that's going to be setting up for what will be a second half.
I don't know what they're enjoying more, probably having their arms up and tanning those arms, or if they're looking forward to half-time. I don't know.
Both. Winter's a long one here in Melbourne, so any opportunity from sun to get on your skin is let's take it on board.
Well, let's just say if the sun's going to be coming out like this, and if it's the last month of winter, dare I say, going into some of these end of the season matchups, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of players probably electing, if they would, to have a jersey that's sleeveless. Actually, I know if I was out there, I'd definitely have a sleeveless shirt. That's for sure. How could you not love a good tan from the sun, right?
No, it's terrific. You're already repping the shorts here today already.
No,
that's brave.
It's
that's very
weird.
brave.
It is brave, but I'll tell you what, I looked outside this morning and I was like, the sun's out. I was really hoping that we're going to get the same conditions as we did yesterday here, because, I mean, just watching the live stream yesterday, it was picture-perfect conditions, picturesque, and at the moment we're quite literally gone copy and paste right here on Cup Sunday. And I thought, you know what, let me bring the shorts out. It's been a while since I've brought the shorts out. I'll tell you what.
Dust it off.
Going to games week in, week out, you know, it's
puffer jacket,
I don't
beanie.
like wearing the puffer jacket or the beanie. Sometimes even having to wear the gloves as well. I don't like wearing that. But I'll tell you what. Who wouldn't love wearing some shorts? But
take advantage of it.
Exactly, and I think that will be half-time here at the home of the Matildas in this Steph Catley play. It was a opening goal by Minami Yamasaka that completely shocked not only us, but everyone here at the home of the Matildas, managing to get that goal within about 20 seconds. The very first goal and the only goal that was scored, and it was George Cross right at the control of the ship in this one. That is half-time here at the Steph Catley plate. It is a 1-0 lead to George Cross. We'll be back for second half action a little bit later on. And remember, still to come, Hellas and Alexandros Part 2 will kick off at 4 p.m. here at the home of the Matildas.
Both teams back out onto the pitch as we get our second half of the 2025 Steph Catley Plate Final underway.
Welcome back, everybody, to the home of the Matildas for the Steph Catley Plate here between Manningham United and George Cross. Both of these two teams that were going hammer and toe against one another here, Han Solo. It was George Cross that fired the first blow, though, within 10 seconds of the game. Caught everyone off by surprise.
It caught everyone, including us. We weren't even expecting that whatsoever, but that really got them into that confidence in that first half. You saw they really controlled the ball a lot and got the ball into their terms and the game style they wanted. So it took a lot for Manningham to get that ball forward, and when they did not skip a beat. There was so many chances that they were able to capitalise on. It's going to be a big second half, and I can't wait to see how it's going to unfold.
I cannot wait. It will be exciting. And from your point of view, how do you think Manningham can really try and reply? I think these first opening bit of the second half is going to be important for them to really put a state mark on this second half, because they were ramsacked by George Cross in the first.
They sure was, and the way Manningham will play, they'll continue those crosses. It is very effective, and just get that advantage of having the goalkeeper not having the height ability. They were close. That crossbar is their best friend. If they can aim for that crossbar and aim a little bit lower, the wind might play a factor here, and the sun also, but if they can aim a little bit in those top areas of the goal, it could be more effective, because the keeper Paige Daly is more effective on the ground. On the height, not so much, but that's going to be one to look out for. Is just get that height advantage, get those chances in. I know Shiba will have one contender. I hope it's going to be a very close one, just to get this second half exciting.
It will be definitely exciting. And obviously Manningham now kicking into the sunny end of the pitch here, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare. Obviously, George Cross did a pretty good job at going up forwards, actually not letting the sun kind of distract them. So it'll be interesting to see how Manningham can try and respond back as well. But I mean, George Cross, with the way that they played, they dominated the possession straight across the back. Can they do the same in this second half? What do you think?
It's all about endurance, and can they last the next 45 minutes? Is going to be high octane, I hope, and this sun and these conditions, and the crowd is actually building. So now it's the pressure of now more faces and more bodies on the seats watching this game. So big occasion. Big occasion
indeed. Obviously working our way forwards to that main event between Hellas and Alexandros for the Nike FC Cup final that will take place at 4 p.m. here at the home of the Matildas. It will be an absolute mouth-watering contest, just like it was last night against Hellas and Alexandros in the Doherty Cup. I'm sure the same will be achieved in the Nike FC Cup. Will it be Hellas walking away with both of the two cups, or will Heidelberg spoil the party and walk away with the Nike FC Cup? I was actually driving here, and Olympic Village isn't too far from here, so they can definitely walk back with the cup. I'm sure that they would love to be walking back with it.
Walk, car, bike, whatever mode, scooter, e-scooter, whatever it is, but I'm sure they'll be happy with that. So it is not far. It's a very close proximity for them. But they have to go through it in 90 minutes within that time frame. In South Melbourne, they will not go home without a fight either.
They definitely won't be. And the one team that definitely won't go out without a fight is Manningham United. I'm almost sure of it. Even though they did concede that first one, which, boy, did it come at a very big surprise at all of us. I'll tell you what, they've definitely not allowed for Caroline Springs just to walk away with it and cakewalk them straight away. They've definitely been fighting back and really tried to create their own opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see how they can try and replicate the same thing here in this second half. Manningham United, obviously, I think the main thing for them has been that they've struggled to get the ball going from the middle third forwards, progressed up into that attacking third. That's been the thing that definitely kind of halted their momentum in that first half, and that is kind of why George Cross really contained them to so few shots on goal.
That's been their kryptonite. He's not able to get that ball moving, and you can tell George Cross that structurally they've got so many experienced backliners that can read the play so well, and the forward line, they play defensively first. They get their position in order when the ball is out of their possession, so they are really quick to adapt to when the ball is turned over. Where Manningham, it just takes them a little bit of second to get into the position, so that's where the upper hand is for George Cross, is they get that ball and maintain it in their attacking half and try not to lose it when they do have it.
So here comes Manningham now, going to try and pressure the attack on that far side. And it still will be Manningham's ball. So in the back third here for Manningham, where the ball, dare I say it, has spent quite a lot of its time for them. I'm sure they'd love to start progressing the football up the pitch more. Here's Pelligra and Barole, or Barale, I should say, correction. Ball's going to be back off to Dixon. Dixon and Yamasaki were all over one another in that first half, or wherever Dixon was, that's where Yamasaki was, and vice versa as well. Ball going to work its way all the way back to Cray Horson. She's going to lob it up straight into the footing of Cooper, who was right under the drop zone of the football. Manningham just retaining possession. They definitely want to try and open up George Cross at the moment. Wherever the football is, it just seems that George Cross is always bombarding it with about 2 or 3 players in and around that one player, and that's really what's putting Manningham in so much pressure right now.
They're making them work harder. That's all it is George Cross is, they're not making it easier for them. It's just, if you want the ball, you've got to work harder. You know, that's been their aim for today's game, is just make it difficult for them. Make it challenging. Don't make it easy for them at all. And now the sun is against them for Manningham in the second half. It could, but, play a factor.
Well, definitely see what kind of factor it will play. Here's Doofus, going to play it off to Chiba. Chiba, who already in that first half had a numerous amount of opportunities to really try and progress the ball forwards. Only just had the one shot in the goal that soared just over the crossbar. And it was the first real shot that Manningham had that entire first half that only just went over the crossbar, as I just mentioned. But I'm sure they'd love to replicate that shot on goal, and they can definitely do it. They just really need to play their opportunities at the right time, play their cards correctly. And already you can see George Cross just dominating the football at the moment. Ray Horson in the back. She's going to progress it all the way back to the goalkeeper in Paige Daly. Bit of a quiet first half it was for her. We'll see if her job will be definitely cut out for her more in this second half. Collins was trying to fight the football against Gonzalez.
Just a little bit overzealous there, but it was just, that's the nature of the game. When you want to win that ball, that's what are you going to do for your team?
Taylor Gonzalez, who can play both the centre-back position and the central mid position as well. So watch out for her. If she starts to really push up ahead of the football, you best believe that she'll definitely be a threat. And this girl will be a threat as well in front. Nicole Cooper. And instead, a beautiful little bit of defending there by Tamika Josie. Putting her body on the line, not allowing Nicole Cooper any space whatsoever. And we've got a corner coming up here for George Cross. The first of the second half. Didn't have too many in that first half, might I add. Bit of a quiet half for both sides. So, again, the battle was in the midfield for both of them. I think the main story has been, I think for both sides as well, is really connecting with that final pass. I mean, George Cross have just, they've done a little bit better to connect, but Manningham, if they really want a shot at getting back into this one, they really got to try and connect, as Gonzalez going for one for well beyond range. Just mention her being such a versatile threat from the back and also up in the midfield in the central attacking position, and already you can see, you best believe you better watch out for her if you give her any space whatsoever.
She just went, move over, this is mine, I'll go for it. And it was on target in the near post, and she was hoping perhaps for a deflection, but well done to the keeper, Diaz, to really maintain her stance and had to grip the ball. So it's been good for keepers. They haven't really gone and deflected anyway. They've controlled it very well.
Maisels obviously missing in the goal. The key and main starting goalkeeper for Manningham United, the former Melbourne Victory and Heidelberg United player, not in the starting lineup for this one. So instead it's Karina Diaz in goal, who has done quite an exceptional job so far, really holding her own. I mean, that first goal was just too good for Yamasaki, managing to curl it in. But I mean, I think for the rest of it, she's definitely held her own pretty well. So definitely watch out for her, especially if this game really does come down to the wire. Doofus trying to chase after it. Instead, it's Cooper managing to retain the possession of that one. Here come George Cross again. Barale going to play it straight into the chest of Josie. Tamika Josie, who had her work cut out for her in that first half quite a fair bit. Not allowing too much possession to go right by her. Her along with Pantazopoulos. They went hammer and toe with each other. Full connection in unity. Not allowing any goal to go past them. They've definitely done a good job to start this second half so far. We'll see how they can go as this second half does progress. Still Manningham's ball here directly in front of us. Ihaka to throw it in. She's also had quite a good game here thus far as well. Had a numerous amount of possession in that first half. Here's Barale. Hartzema trying to find Cooper and does. Cooper was just in a sandwich of blue. Couldn't quite manage to escape it. Pelligra. Now it's Chiba here for Manningham, who's just in a swamp of red, not allowing George Cross any bit of breathing space. Chiba still with this one. Could this be a shot here and possibly to try and equalise it? And a beautiful set of goalkeeping there by Paige Daly with a beautiful dive. I think it was just going to go past the sidebar, but instead Paige Daly there, the beautiful set of goalkeeping, managing to keep that one from going anywhere near the goal.
As a goalkeeper, you've got to be more safe than sorry. There's a few times, particularly in that Heidelberg game, there was times where Paige could have went for it and save a goal, but she let it through. So I think she's learned a lesson going, if I am not certain that it's going to go wide, I'm going to go for it anyway. So as a keeper, you'd rather just be safe and save it than, somehow, like we saw in the first goal, it kind of just goes in naturally sometimes. And, that's a mistake that you don't want to happen again and again. But Manningham, they're charging forward. That Chiba, again, she's just so confident. She just finds a way through. And if she can't, on her own, take on the ball, she'll lay it off to someone else.
And here comes George Cross in transition. Ball played through, however, it is an offside call by Hannah Fox. Even though she did kick the goal too bad, she was offside, so it won't count. But
it was a good turn too, but that's probably their fourth potential goal from an offside. They've just got to tweak that positioning a little bit better. If they can allow themselves to probably delay the pass and get themselves in better positioning, it'll work better in a factor towards that final third. But that's probably the fourth time that they made that little mistake of their positioning.
They did have quite a number of offside calls in that first half, George Cross. So they are getting etchy when they are on the run ahead of the football, but we'll see how they go as a substitution in this second half. In the first one, and it will be Abby Collins off, and on will come Chloe Randazzo. So the first substitution of this second half, and it is Manningham's. Along to another substitution, I believe. Kat King is on, and she will be replacing the captain, Romy Healsley.
That's a different one that's tricky is with Nike Cup rules. You've only, I think you've got four subs that you're allowed, where state teams you can interchange however many times you want. So that's a little bit of disadvantage for the State League teams to play in a competition like this is the unlimited subs that they're allowed.
So it'd be interesting to see where they actually play their subs at what time. Again, you want to play them right. I think South Melbourne's definitely one from last night. They definitely play their subs right, allowing Campbell Dovison to come on at the right time. The saviour of Hellas yesterday. So already down a sub for Manningham United. So it'll be interesting to see how they play their cards well. Pantazopoulos, one-on-one with Yamasaki. This time someone else on Yamasaki. It's been Dixon who's been on her all afternoon. This time, though, Pantazopoulos doing the hard yards against her.
Sure, dear, that body block is just enough. It's just a simple technique that you've got there, just not allow a Yamazaki to follow through whatsoever. But it's very clean. Don't have to go in a tackle. Just use your body as a shield, and then your player can come in and collect that ball. So that's very clever play coming from Manningham.
So Manningham with the 2 substitutions. How can they fare? A couple fresh set of legs out there as well. You'd love their chances now, especially. But George Cross, they've held their own pretty well today so far, George Cross. So never count them out because they're definitely looking scary. Once they do break away, you never know what kind of damage they can do.
Oh, we saw that earlier with Nicole Cooper, that, you know, when she was turning and going for goals. So there's definitely an element of players that know where the goal is and can execute it so well. It's a matter of now is can Manningham just shut them down, because they're just allowing a little bit too much time and space here for George Cross to come through.
George Cross to throw it in. Hart Zema was directly under the drop zone. And instead, once again, it's Dixon. And Yamasaki managing once again to run into her. It's been a contest that them two have been going hammer and toe at each other all afternoon. Manningham United coming off a 2-1 loss on round 14 last Friday night against Knox City. That was away at Eggenley Reserve. Caroline Springs, I mean, no wonder why they got so much momentum. They're coming off a 7-0 win at home at Decker Park versus King's Domain. A whole bunch of confidence that they have going into this one. It's like what? Heidelberg United got a 7-0 win against Bundoora United in the semi-final at Olympic Village in the Nike FC Cup. Be interesting to see how Heidelberg United use that game heading into using that game for confidence heading into this one, I should say. It's a mouthful to say.
There's a lot of going on there, Stefan, but it's just the nature of the cup. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, the other team, they can have one slip through and you take that advantage. Anything can really happen and go your way or against your way. You cannot really rely on the conditions or your players. It's another set of mindset that you just have to get your head around, especially being here at the home of the Matildas. It's a very neutral ground, but somehow it just brings so much together and so much of this game style that we haven't really seen much in state league competitions. If you go back to those earlier opportunities from George Cross and Manningham, you don't see too much of that in state league teams. It's almost an MPL worthy goal of most of them that we saw.
It's definitely a highlight reel goal, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, that will be a goal that George Cross play for the rest of the year, dare I say it, until they're back in this opportunity once again. I'm sure they'd love to be in the Nike FC Cup, and you never know. Hopefully they can work their way up to the VPL women's competition. Here's Nicole Cooper with Pantazopoulos yet again, doing the hard yards, keeping the ball alive here. Cooper going to try and cross it in. And a beautiful piece of goalkeeping there by Diaz. Nicole Cooper had 4 goals in that 7-0 victory against King's Domain. Scored in the 4th, 7th, 66th and 70th minute. So all 4 of her goals, 2 of which came about 4 minutes from either one of them. So watch out when she does get ahead of the football, because she's definitely got the kicker's foot on her. However, did she leave her kicking boots at home? We're going to have to wait and find out. I'm sure she'd love to get on the scoreboard. She's had a couple of offsides already in this half, so you best believe that she's definitely hungry for a goal. And another substitution coming on here this time for George Cross, the first one of the afternoon for them. Off will come Hannah Fox, and on will come Danielle Rodriguez. Danielle Rodriguez, at the moment, she's had 3 goals in the Nike FC Cup campaign for George Cross. Can she make it 4 here for this afternoon? Going to have to wait and see. I'm sure she'd love to have 4. So far, 2 substitutions for Manningham, only just the 1 for George Cross. George Cross picking it well. I don't think they see it as if they don't really need any substitutions. I mean, with the way that their women are playing out there, they're playing on another level. Doofus couldn't quite manage to connect the pass. Pelligra clearing it away, going straight into the feet of Manningham. Bit of a tough possession here. Dixon one-on-one with Pelligra. Pelligra wearing that white headband. And ball working its way back off to Josie. Malapanis. Going to try and work her magic here. Works it off to Fenton, who's now the captain, after Romy Healsley went off. Ball just in dispute at the moment. Here comes George Cross again. Here's Rodriguez, who's got space. She's going to progress it forwards off the Hart Zema. Can she connect with it? The ball's still up in the attacking third. Cooper going to get one of her own. Not meant to be on that occasion, but a very, very promising set of attack there for George Cross. They only needed the 1 to go. It was a beautiful play from Rodriguez, making an impact straight off the bench in this one. She'd love to get 4 goals, but I'll tell you what, she'd love to get one of her teammates on the scoreboard as well. Beautiful piece of footwork indeed by Danielle Rodriguez. She's actually returned to the team this year. She returned to the team, I should say, after being back in 2023. She's been playing football since she was 14 years of age, steadily progressing from State League to VPL. Her most recent stint playing at Keilor Park. They are second in the VPL women's competition. She's known for being a powerful winger and for a blistering speed, and you could definitely tell after creating that very, very close goal. Here's Cooper. Going to play it back off to Yamasaki. Yamasaki on the corner of the box, going to try and take a shot. And Diaz, once again, a beautiful piece of goalkeeping there from her. Definitely making amends out there after that first goal went in. In transition, what can Manningham do? Under the drop zone was Fenton, going to play it forwards. Could this be for Ranzano? Not quite on that occasion, but a very, very close one indeed. And both teams trading blows here at the moment, Han. Someone is going to score here at some moment. I can almost assure you of that.
We've got the feeling here, Stefan. It's just building and building this pressure. It's going to be a release soon. This is just very exciting football for the past 10 minutes. Saw 2 opportunities from George Cross. You saw that passage of play, Rodriguez. That was a fantastic frame of work that she had. She opened up her footwork and then just went around a defender, and it was just this kind of moment. And George Cross, something in their mindset going, we've got nothing to lose. Come into this game, give it everything you've got, and you will be rewarded. Manningham, they look so solid in the second half. A lot of things are going their way. The little things, they're holding possession a lot more kind of tighter. And their sense of urgency of attacking the ball have really gone up a level as well. So you really show that the team is just working together and communicating. And it's creating a lot of exciting football right now.
Here's Malapanis directly under the drop zone again. Ball just being headed up between both sides. Ball's back out to Rodriguez again. Watch out for her. Definitely loves getting her players involved. Dixon for Manningham. Managed to retain possession. Ranzano, who's one-on-one with Gonzalez on that far side. And Manningham just managing to play their cards well defensively. Ball in the middle of the park now for George Cross. Could this be an opportunity? Talakides wide open, finding Hart Zema. Hart Zema going to go for a turnaround kick. Clearly off balance with that one. And Diaz only just staying on the inside of the line in the box, managing to fight for the ball. And Manningham just... There's a heart still beating in Manningham, I'll tell you that. It has been end-to-end football over the last couple of possessions. And you just know at some point one of these two teams are going to score.
Oh, they've just really opened up and they're playing the style that they want to. It didn't really work well for them in the first half. They struggled a little bit to find their feet, but this is where we want to see Manningham shine, and they are doing exactly that. Everything is just working in the order that they want it to be and applying that pressure. George Cross at times are losing their feet a little bit, and that pressure that they apply, it seems to be working for Manningham. So they've just got to continue to do that and put their body on the line a little bit more, and you can feel the tension is building the more and more this game is going towards that final 9 minutes. So it's now that crunch time where you have to be connecting and everything just really has to go your way. If it doesn't, you've got to work hard to get it back, and that's what Manningham, the difference between the first half and the second half.
Manningham United's next game will be on Tuesday, the 19th of August, where they're going to take on FC Noble Hurricanes at Petty's Reserve. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. on that one. And for George Cross, they're going to take on Altona City at HC Kim Reserve on Friday, the 15th of August. Kickoff for that one will be at 8:30 p.m. Both of those two teams retrospectively playing, both sitting on, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on in the broadcast, 8 wins in both of their retrospective competitions. So it'll be interesting to see how they can walk away. Obviously, Manningham sitting third, Caroline Springs sitting second. Manningham in the State 1 Southeast competition, opposed to Caroline Springs in the State 1 Northwest. So both of those two teams are fighting for a spot in the VPL competition, and it'd be great to see them, especially on this big stage that they're at right now at the moment here at the home of the Matildas. They would love to be back here playing on another big-time game and a big-time performance.
Oh, both deserve it too.
100%.
So much hard work in this season.
So Olivia Barale to take this free kick. Gonna let it rip over, and no one home on that occasion for Caroline Springs. Obviously as well, football action is definitely a whole abundance here at the moment. I mean, we can talk also about the Australia Cup as well. 4 NPL Victorian teams. Very, very rare do you say that the NPL Victorian teams, you have your NPL teams that are still in the competition and your A-League teams aren't, Han. It's very interesting as both Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City going out in that round of 32. So very, very interesting. The round of 16. I mean, Nunawading, they're going to take on Wellington Phoenix on Sunday. Actually, that's today, believe it or not, at Nassau Stadium at 3 p.m. You've got Heidelberg United, the men's, that will be taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers on Tuesday. Just down the road at Olympic Village, kickoff at 7:30. South Melbourne, they're going to take on Auckland FC on Wednesday night. That one will be at 7:30. And then Avondale taking on Leichhardt at 7:30 on a Wednesday. So much football to be played. Obviously, you have 4 NPL Victorian teams bidding for a spot in the Australia Cup quarterfinals. It should be exciting into the last 8 teams, the best teams in Australia, Han.
Oh, it's so exciting, and a weekend of it. So you've got so much options right now of where to put your screens, where to drive. You go from one game to the next, but it's just so exciting that you're bringing so many communities together as well to witness all this, what's going on. 4 NPL Victorian teams is such a big feat, and to have that is just such, as a Victorian, you kind of feel that you're so proud that you've got so many teams going so far into that cup. And the cup, obviously, named after myself, so it's very fitting to the occasion as well. But we did just see a substitute come on there, Stefan.
Yeah, we did. Olivia Barale, the captain, will be coming off, and on will be Michaela Lawrence. So Michaela Lawrence, another fresh set of legs coming on for George Cross. So we'll see what kind of impact she can make for George Cross as they look to try and close out this game. It's been a very, very good performance for George Cross here thus far. Definitely played the brand of football, and obviously I think the fact that they've done their homework on Manningham United, obviously a couple of those extra games not being streamed of Manningham's, and obviously Manningham being able to do their homework has definitely helped them So George Cross, they've been in a whole different league. They've definitely been able to really nitpick the little nitty-gritty of, you know, what they want to do, what they want to see from their side out here, and it's definitely shown. And you can definitely see how well they're performing. Here's Lawrence, the new sub, out making inroads, just marching her way up the pitch. Lawrence with a 1-2 connection with Yamasaki. On that far side, who's got Dixon for company. She's had her for company all afternoon long. Yamasaki off to Hartzemmer inside the box. The ball's going to be tripped up. And it will be a corner coming up here for George Cross, I believe.
You just mentioned there, Hartzemmer. She's just been a little bit quiet. We saw a little bit of excitement in the first moments of this half, but since then we haven't had too much of her in the middle side of this pitch. It's mostly been the wingers that have a lot of the connection of the ball, so they've got to really rely on her to be inside that box and have that ball in the position that she wants it to be. It's just been really tough, and Manningham have kept a very close eye on her, allowing her no easy way through.
So George Cross to have yet another corner from that far side. Dixon, it was headed away by Ray Horson. Tried to get it towards the direction of the goal, but instead not enough pace on that occasion, and it will be Diaz to kick it away. So George Cross, they're just going to look to try and regroup and go again. They've been so dangerous up ahead of the football. Manningham United, they've been on the back foot on so many different occasions here this afternoon. You just don't know which way George Cross is going to attack. In that first half, they were attacking straight through the corridor in the middle of the park, and now in this second half, they're electing to really try to go from the wings a little bit more. We might have another opportunity coming up here, and instead our referee, Lauren White, waving that play off before the football could progress up the pitch more.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to determine as well, and I've just got that little bit of mindset too, but we'll stop that momentarily for Manningham substitution. Paige Ihaka will come off for number 11, Jessica Tong, and looks like Fenton will be coming off for number 2, Deanna Ramsey. So double substitution here for Manningham.
So double substitution coming on here for Manningham. We'll see how Manningham can try and respond. Obviously a couple more fresh set of legs out here. Be good to see Manningham get on the scoreboard and really make this game that little bit more juicier and tighter. Here's Malapanis and Rodriguez coming out of nowhere, managing to get that one away.
Talking about tighter, you feel, is it more stressful leading the game or to trail? Because you're trying to defend, you know, that goal that you've got, you know, especially with George Cross scoring it so early in this game within the first 20 seconds, mind you. That was one goal that was the quickest we've ever seen in women's Victorian competition ever, almost. It was 3 or 4 touches, I believe. But then now they have to defend it for the next 15 minutes or so. It's going to be a tough one. Where Manningham, do they have the stress of trying to get that equaliser, which has been for 74 minutes? They're still unable to get the ball into the back of the net, so they're also under a lot of pressure too. But what would you rather? Both are very stress-enticing, but it's a manageable thing right now. Is you still have a lot of game time to progress to get that equaliser on, and then we're going to go to extra time if that happens. It could be down to the wire here, Stefan.
I'll tell you what, we would love an extra time, but those players out there on the pitch would not love an extra time. I know Manningham would love extra time to really try and equalise this game, but I'll tell you what, it will be exciting if we do get an equaliser. Boy, we'd love to see go to pens, wouldn't we? I mean, who doesn't love a little intense penalty shootout, you know? I'm saying as if it might happen, but you never know. Sometimes it's one of those things where you got the law of attraction. Sometimes if you say it, maybe it might happen.
Got to manifest it.
You got to manifest it. A beautiful ball played forwards from Malapanis off to Chiba, who's going to be down. The referee not going to signal anything on that occasion. Here's Rodriguez. And the ball will be kicked out of play just in the nick of time by Kat King.
It was a very timely challenge there towards Chiba, and that was what you got to do is in those situations. Is that's where George Cross they calculate it. It's very calculated, the things that they do, and they've got to do it timely as well and not give away a free kick so close to that box.
It's a calculated little bit of attack that both of these two teams are getting. Obviously, Manningham United ended up getting to the quarterfinals of the Nike FC Cup, going down to the Heidelberg United 6-0 at Olympic Village. And for George Cross, they also went down to Heidelberg United in the round prior, in round 5. They went down 4-0 to Heidelberg United, unfortunately. Both of these two teams going down to Heidelberg United, and at the moment, Heidelberg United, I mean, it's definitely not without saying that they are the best team in the NPL women's competition. I mean, they've been on a completely different tear of the likes that we've never seen before from an NPL women's side. I mean, they are just a well-oiled machine. And as I mentioned to you beforehand, they're built for this occasion, aren't they?
They sure are. We saw in the grand final last season. That's from then on, it switched on. Something happened in that grand final against Preston that enlightened the team and built that confidence. Because they haven't been a consistent team. It's taken a lot of seasons and years for them to be a well-oiled machine. It didn't come easily for them. There have been times where they haven't been consistent. They were losing to teams that they shouldn't have, and then, you know, their season hasn't been the way it has been, but this is when this season something ignited them after that grand final. Something about having exposure and reliving that moment again and again in your head, knowing that this team has a belief. We didn't see that before in previous season, but something united them, and it got to where they are now, which is the Nike FC Cup grand final, which is not an easy thing to do or to get to, mind you. It takes a lot of games for you to get to this position, and they've done it. They're one step away from lifting up that cup, and how sweet will it be back to back? They got the grand final last year. They're here again for a big occasion. It will be so sweet for them to be able to get it over the line.
They managed to really redo their season because, I mean, it was only 2 weeks ago they actually ended up going down to Box Hill in a very shocking upset. I mean, talk about big upsets. That's as big as it comes. I mean, Box Hill with a 2-0 victory at home completely shocked Heidelberg United. And then obviously Heidelberg United responding the following week, getting a 2-1 win over Spring Hills. So a very strong performance from them. Heidelberg United's next game, they're going to take on the Preston Lions. It was actually South Melbourne over the weekend that ended up getting a win against South Melbourne. Alana Byrne managing to just knock a header in, only giving them a 1-0 win in the dying stage of that game. I mean, you want to talk about big-time performances, stepping up when it means most. Alana Byrne for South Melbourne, it doesn't get any bigger than that one.
Absolutely not. And she'll step up today too. And, you know, you're talking about players that will just be the underdog. They will downplay it a little bit, but when you say, hey, we need you to step up, they will give it 110%. And Alana Byrne is one of those players that when she's behind the ball, she's so creative and just so magical. You don't know what she's going to give you on game day. So that's going to be a player to look out for, and it's going to be so exciting because any player at any moment can lift up and bring out something magical like that.
You never know who might step up. South Melbourne's next game, they're going to take on the FC Bulleen Lions. So it'll be exciting to see who's going to be the victors in that one as well. Obviously, a couple more rounds to go, and then obviously we are going to be well and truly in final season in both men's and women's competitions. It'll be exciting to see who ends up getting through to the finals, into the semi-finals, and then obviously being crowned the champion. Can Heidelberg go back-to-back is the real question. The way that they've set up their season, they are very much really bidding for that back-to-back crown, as they would love to, and boy, would they love to walk away with a Nike FC Cup trophy as well, making it back off to Olympic Village, and an offside call there by Yamasaki.
George Cross just opened it up. There was really no Manningham players running back on that situation, so it was a little bit risky there. And again, a lot of offside calls for George Cross. They've just got to tweak a little bit better and ensure those passes are timed. They don't want to give those opportunities away. You work so hard to get the ball, win the ball, and then move that ball forward to let it go away in an offside like that.
South Melbourne later on, they're bidding for their first ever Nike FC Cup trophy. Unlike the men's where they clinched 10 Doherty Cups yesterday, they're looking for their first, and Boy, would they love to do it. Bring it back to Lakeside. Bring it back to the trophy cabinet. The trophy cabinet's big enough over there. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough space, especially after the Doherty Cup after yesterday. We'll have to wait and see. Here's Nicole Cooper. She had 4 goals in her last game. Can she add another one to her tally here this afternoon? Ball just going from back third to back third. Pelligra was under the drop zone. Couldn't quite get the possession of it. Malapanis to give it a boot forwards. Going straight into the hands of Paige Daly. Heidelberg United, though, their last Nike FC Cup trophy that they ended up winning was way back in 2016, and they're definitely hungry for more. 9 years later, could this be a replica of that 2016 title run that they had? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Things are going to get spicy, and the crowd is filling into their seats here. It is going to be an electric atmosphere here, as you can see the Nike FC Cup branding on the outskirts of the pitch here at the home of the Matildas as we get ready. I want to know who stayed here after that Doherty Cup game to really put up all that signage. Whoever did really needs a pay rise, because I tell you what, it doesn't look like it was a one-man show, that's for sure. Looks like he might have needed all the help. Here's Nicole Cooper, though, for George Cross. Going to try and turn around on her right foot. She had all the time in the world, waited a little bit too long, and instead just let her defender really come up close to her. A beautiful set of goalkeeping there, indeed. Sorry, beautiful set of defending there by Manningham United.
It was wonderful. They just had a wall of bodies and just not making it easy at all for George Cross to come through. And I think they've got another substitute coming through on board. Shazelle Day, number 3, coming on for number 22, Minami Yamasaki, who's played a wonderful game, scored that first goal within the first 20 seconds. And you've got another one there, Stefan, another substitute for George Cross.
Yep, the other substitute for George Cross, and I'm just having a look through my team sheets to try and find. It will be... Actually, as weird as it is, folks, I actually haven't got it on these papers at the moment, unless I might be looking at the wrong sheet.
I think they've got the numbers or
I think they might have got the numbers a little bit.
Could be Debbie Taylor.
I think it might be Debbie Taylor, but nevertheless, though, I think it might be Debbie Taylor. Number 32 isn't on our sheets that we were gotten from the officials, so we'll put that one on the officials, actually, instead, because it wasn't given to us here either. But nevertheless, though, we won't let that ruin what a phenomenal game it's been here thus far between both of these two State League women's sides, showcasing the State League competition. A tremendous game it has been. Obviously, Minami Yamasaki now off, sitting on the bench. That's her day done and dusted. The only goal scorer in this one in the first, I was saying 20 seconds, but there I say probably in the first 10 seconds if we go back and really rewatch the footage here, Han.
Caught off so off guard. We weren't ready for it, and they were. It feels like, hey, let's go on board. Let's just try to score as quickly as possible, and they did exactly that, George Cross.
I think George Cross was the only one that was ready for it, because clearly Manningham wasn't ready for it either, that's for sure. Here comes Manningham, though, in transition. Can they get a goal back here and equalise it? And not quite to be on that occasion once again. They're trading blows back and forth, are either one of these two teams. And we have a corner coming up here for Manningham United. I'm sure they'd love to get the equaliser and send us into extra time. We'd love it. I'll tell you what, who wouldn't want it is South Melbourne and Heidelberg, considering that they'll be waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking, when are these guys going to finish? When are these guys going to finish? But I'll tell you what, there's a lot on the line here. And for these teams, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of these two teams. And down inside the box, and we'll wait for the referee's verdict, Lauren White. Not sure if she's going to call a penalty or not. Waiting for the official verdict, I believe, from our referee here. And I believe it is a penalty.
Oh,
things are about to get spicy. I wasn't sure if there might have been any insufficient information, but instead, clearly there was. And now Manningham United have found themselves and bought themselves a penalty in the dying stages of normal and regular time. Can they get one to go? This will be exciting stuff. It is that girl who has been on fire all day so far, Nagiko Chiba. She's going to step up to the plate and to try and give Manningham the equaliser. And you just believe that everyone is going to get up and about here. It was George Cross with the opening one in the first 10 seconds of the game. Chiba has Manningham on her back right now. It's all up to her. She's going to step up to the plate, and she gets it, and the equaliser is there. Manningham United equalising this game, and that is Chiba's 4th goal of her Nike FC Cup campaign, coming via a penalty. And folks, things just got interesting.
Stefan, you manifested it. You manifested extra time, and it's happened. And this is now anyone's game. Took so long for Manningham United to get that goal. They've given this opportunity, and Chiba has stepped up to the plate. Let's see how she's composed herself. This is a big moment for Chiba. She hit it directly low and fast on the left side, and nothing Paige Daly, the keeper, could do on that occasion. She did go to that side, but it was just too late to handle. George Cross, are they going to step up? This is now going to get exciting. The punches are going to be on. The physicality will be on, because now it's almost like revenge. They want to go back at him here, George Cross.
This is anybody's ball game right now, and I'll tell you what, if you are Manningham United, after that first goal, you managed to get revenge now. You got the equaliser. One apiece here. What a time to come in the dying stages of in the dying stages of regular time. I'm getting too excited, by the way, because this is extraordinary stuff here. The Steph Catley Cup. We had the Cecil Early Plate Cup that just went right down to the wire. The game-winning goal came in the very last minute of regular time, and the same thing just happened here right now. The equaliser. In the dying stage of this one, Hunt, we have a ball game on our hands right here, right now.
Oh, it's not the end yet, and we know that these two teams are going to play to the final whistle. And now it's went from when I was talking about earlier, the stress of keeping that lead, and for it to go away from you so easily like that, it just changes your mindset. Now the stress is back on George Cross to get themselves into the lead again. Or Manningham, the underdogs of this game, where the first goal was taken away from them. They've been trying to get that goal for so long, and they've got it now. Can you imagine if they end up winning this game or scoring the next to win it? That will be a feat that we haven't really seen ever in a finals like this. And that's just what makes the game so unpredictable. You don't know how it's going to unfold. You cannot script it. You can't rewrite it. You can't even write it at all. And now it's George Cross's turn to really get themselves back in the game. They haven't managed to find their second, because a 2-goal buffer is what makes a difference. And this is now their biggest time here with Chazelle Day on the ball.
This could be what they need. And instead, an offside call very early on before they could get up that far by Chazelle Day. What a game it has been, though, thus far. I mean, doesn't get any more exciting than this, doesn't it, Hunt? I mean, we have two State League teams. They're bidding for everything. This is almost like a cup final game for them, like in the Nike FC Cup final game. This doesn't feel like a Steph Catley play game.
No, this is, it feels that these State League teams, that they play with so much, passion and skill level. You don't really see that quite often in teams that work so well and gel so well, and they step up to the occasion. They're not taking this pitch and this occasion for granted whatsoever. They're bringing everything they've got, any trick out of the bag. You've seen that with so many highlights in this game that you're seeing a different ball game compared to what you normally see in the normal season.
At the moment, Manningham, you definitely feel like the tide has changed, the momentum has changed after that first half where they were absolutely whomped and blindsided. This has been a different second half for them. Our fourth official has indicated for 4 additional minutes of extra time to conclude regular proceedings. And then obviously if things do stand at 1 apiece, we are going to be getting extra time here. We have to determine a winner at this one. Who is going to be more hungry for that Steph Catley plate. The first ever inaugural Steph Catley plate being introduced at the start of the season to give state league teams and those teams who didn't get far in the competition to showcase their talents. And at the moment, both of these two teams are showcasing their talents on the biggest stage of all, Cup weekend. It doesn't get any bigger than this right now. As I mentioned at the start, hopefully things are going to get juicier. Things are getting as juicy, just like a well-cooked 12-hour brisket right now.
Oh, we need one of those right now, Stefan.
Tell you what, the Udos that are going to be cooking out there in the back. I'm going to be making a beeline for them straight after this. When South Melbourne, Hellas and Alexandros hit the pitch, things are going to be epic right now.
That smoke, it's just coming. It needs to come this way, the smell. We need to smell more of that.
No, we don't need it to come. We don't need it to come over here. We got a game to focus on our hands on. We don't need our players out here losing their focus right now because
mouth watering.
They have a lot more things to worry about than having a Udos. They can focus about it after. However, the ball going straight into the feet of Daly here. George Cross. Can they keep fighting? Hart Zemmer going to play it off to Debbie, who's inside. Could this be a chance here? Rodriguez is in the back. Manningham scrapping everywhere. So too's George Cross. And Manningham just luckily kicking that ball out of harm's way.
Oh, that was almost a goalkeeper's nightmare. Diaz kicking it straight in today. Gee, they would have taken that opportunity, which they did. They did attack 3 times after that, but George Cross, they've just got to tweak it a little bit more. They have to get that ball connecting because now, we got about 2 minutes left in this time. It's not too much more game time left and not too much touches left in this game. Well, we do have now a player down for George Cross.
So we'll just wait for that player, for George Cross to just pop right back up. Hopefully she's all right. We'll just wait for the referee, and I can confirm it is Cara Pelligra who is down wearing that white headband. She's recognisable. She's worn it all day today, so hopefully she's all right. It looks to be like she's dealing with cramps, but at the moment, Hunt, what have you thought of how Manningham really replied? Because they were trailing all game. It almost looked as though they were never going to score a goal because George Cross was playing so well defensively, and one small error for George Cross inside the box, and just like that, we got equal scores.
Yeah, they've got to be really careful, especially if you are defending that lead, is just to be very cautious. If you can't give away a free kick inside your box, and it will go against you. And when you've got that 50-50 chance in front of goal, Shuba is just so composed in front of situations like that. She will not skip a beat. To get herself on the scoreboard and find that equaliser, Manningham relied on her to step up on a big moment like that. Now it's a matter of they're just going to follow through of what remaining minutes they've got left and then continue on reset again, because this is just now getting more intense by the moment, and we're just at the end of this game now.
This is where the game really starts. This is where
first 20 seconds, and now it's the end.
It's a complete opposite. We had a little bit of dead time in the middle there, but I'll tell you what, both these two teams are fighting. Who is going to walk away the first ever inaugural Steph Catley Plate champion? Going to have to wait and see. Both these two teams are going to be fighting and hustling as hard as they can. However, there can only be one. And which one will it be? Here comes George Cross on this near side. Tsakalidis playing it straight through the feet of Malapinas. Got a little bit of a nutmeg. George Cross. Here's Daly. Ball just being tipped around. Tsalakidis got a falcon almost straight to her face. And we will have Manningham united for a free kick after that handball. What can Manningham provide? King going to give it a boot from well beyond range, and nothing on that occasion. So far, we are one apiece here. We are level pegging. Even Stevens, as whatever hyperbole or adjective you use to describe this one. things are getting spicy, and don't go anywhere because we still have our main event still to come, the Nike FC Cup final between Hellas and Alexandros, a rivalry that goes way back, and that is going to be the completion of regular time. We will be getting added time here between these teams. Who is going to walk away the victors here? It will be very, very interesting indeed who will walk away. We will take a quick break here before we go anywhere. We will be back with added time here in the Steph Catley plate. It is a equaliser by Manningham United by Chiba, her 4th goal, giving Manningham the equaliser. It is 1-1 here at the home of the Matildas. Don't go anywhere. Added time still to come right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steph Catley final here for the first ever inaugural Steph Catley Plate Cup final between Manningham United and Caroline Springs George Cross. We would like to correct ourselves. I was saying we're going to be going extra time. We did get official word that instead of extra time, we will be getting penalties. So we're going to be getting a penalty shootout here to conclude proceedings. And this is going to be spicy. Every kick matters, Han. This is going to get really, really exciting. Who is going to have the nerve? Who's going to have the control? Who's going to be cool, calm, and collected? What do you think?
Both teams have very strong goal kickers. So I don't feel like they're going to miss in any way. It's a matter of, can these goalkeepers step up? You're up to Manningham, Karina Diaz playing a terrific game in the second half especially. And then Paige Daly, partaking in what has been quite a not controversial, but a game that's just very exciting. That last moment of the game, there was one corner kick that was called, and then it was that free kick that was called that they were, not happy about, but that's the nature of the game and we're giving the spectators and the fans their money's worth. Look how many players now on that kind of sunny spectator side watching every single kick right now. They are on the edge of their toes. They are holding their breath to see who will lift up that cup, and this is very exciting times, and I'm feeling like it's deja vu. Shiba against Paige Daly.
Once again, Shiba versus Paige Daly. The last time out, she ended up getting the goal on her, which gave her the equaliser. This time, she's going to step up to the plate, and she gets it to go. Going to her left. Daly thought she was going to go to her right, and that's the first penalty going Manningham's way.
High pressure, especially now when Chazelle Day is coming up on the pitch, being a substitute. Haven't had too much of that game time experience today here on this pitch. So it's going to be a big moment, and it's high stakes, because if this doesn't go in, it could change things here for George Cross.
So here we have George Cross. Chazelle Day going to step up to the play. She slips over inside the penalty area. And that is a big-time save there by Karina Diaz. And the first miss going for George Cross.
Manningham, they're excited. They've just got their belief. They've just been trailing the entire game. And to get themselves back in, and if they were to get this over the line, can you imagine? This will be a big uproar.
It definitely will be. So 1-0. For Manningham United. Here we have Hayley Dixon, who's wearing the captain armband at the moment. She played a phenomenal game thus far in the back, and she's going to get hers blocked as well. So back-to-back stops from the penalty area for George Cross and Manningham United. Manningham still leading 1-0. This should be exciting.
They're louder. So for every save or every goal that comes through, you could feel they've just got this passion inside of them, because everything matters right now. And there's so much on the line for these two teams. They've just come so far. This big occasion for them just means so much. I feel like they're just going to rewind and go back to this game and rewatch it.
So the second penalty, this time to be taken by Taylor Gonzalez, the former Brunswick Juventus player, knocking it in, steps up as cool as you like, one arm sleeve rolled up, and she gets that one to go. And we're level at 1 apiece now.
That was wonderful. It kind of laid over, similar to the first goal we saw that from Shiba. It was just that right kind of connection to the ball. You saw that with Chazelle Day. You've got to be very careful. It is a bit slippery. There's a few holes and patches down there that you're just going to be mindful of now and not kind of let that affect you in any way.
Tamika Josie now, who played an exceptional game so far here this afternoon in the back line, in the back third. Doing a beautiful piece of defending on numerous occasions, not allowing the football to come in near the goal too many a time. This time she's going to step up, and only just, it was a game of inches, and only just going past the hands there of the goalkeeper. Paige Daly couldn't quite get there and couldn't quite stretch herself out, and just like that, it is 2-1 in favour of Manningham.
All right, we see Jackie here. Hadzema haven't got a goal this game, but she did in the previous game for the Nike Cup.
Hadzema to step up and gets it to go. And a bit of an interesting one there by Diaz. Diaz didn't really move or react to the football whatsoever. Kind of just stood in her place and just saw the ball go straight past her. So, bit of an interesting one there by the goalkeeper there, by Karina Hadzema. That is her second goal. Hadzema getting it in her Nike FC Cup campaign. 2 apiece here. And now it's Manningham's turn to try and get one back as well. So Manningham United. Monique Ray-Horson getting hers to go, and that's 3 now for Manningham. And you definitely know her sister's watching on, definitely as proud as she can be of her sister knocking in that penalty. And Manningham now 3-2.
Oh, how good has these goal kicks been? Just haven't been far off. It's been very central. It's been very accurate. Not one have missed yet. 2 saves from keeper. And now Diaz has to be a little bit more set up here.
So this time, actually, I should say, it is now Monique Ray-Horson. Monique Ray-Horson to step up to the plate for George Cross. And this time, knocking it down. And we are 3 apiece here. I'll give a little correction before. It was Deanna Ramsey for Manningham knocking in that one. So a little correction there. Human error there, might I say. So we are 3-3 here, and these penalties are going right the way. I think both of these goalkeepers seem a little bit stunned, not really reacting to the football. So it's interesting at the moment with what's going on. But I mean, all of the players knocking down every single penalty. And this time, Chloe Randazzo is going to step up for Manningham and try and give them back a lead. So Chloe Randazzo, and you can see there in the goal, Paige Daly just moving around at the moment. Ranzano and Daly picking the right way and stopping that one. And you can see Chloe Randazzo puts her hands straight in her head. And that one might cost her.
That was cat-like reflexes from Paige Daly. She bounced away. She goes, am I going to go left or right? And you go, you know what? I'll take my chances. I'll roll the dice, and then I'll just take a punt. Went on the right side and deflected it out of danger. And this is now probably the biggest moment in Kat Salikides' career. This is as big as you get in the occasion of the home of the Matildas against Manningham.
So Kat Salikides, she hasn't scored a goal in the cup thus far. This one is got. And George Cross, they are your first ever inaugural Steph Catley Plate champions here in Football Victoria. And you can see how much it means to the entire team. Kat Salikides getting the win for George Cross. It came right down to the wire. And George Cross are the victors. And jubilation and ecstasy there for George Cross. That is a big-time win from the very opening stages after that first goal from Yamasaki. The equaliser came from a penalty all the way down right to Kat Salikides, getting the job done for them. What a game that was, Han Solo.
It was a game. It was a game of excitement. It came in waves. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. And to have Manningham to fight back and to go into a penalty shootout to where we are now, it's just so exciting. And to see the quality of the teams in State League to be in a big occasion like this here at the home of the Matildas, it's exciting to see how how the football in Victoria for the women's competition is come such a long way. And we're here now witnessing it here on a Sunday afternoon football. And this is just the entree. We haven't gone to the main course yet, Stefan. This is just the beginning of what this night's going to unfold to be.
I'll tell you what, folks, this is only just the start of what should be a spicy game later on. Manningham, they played through and through. They played with their heart right on their chest. They did the Manningham badge proud. But at the end of the day, it was just George Cross that proved that little too strong, getting the win. And they are the first ever inaugural Steph Catley Plate champions, winning it in penalties as well. We thought it was going to be an extra time, but I think I think everyone got their money's worth with that one with the penalties. But what a win for them. I mean, they were pretty much flawless all game, weren't they?
They were just so many things went right their way, and they played with so much of their fighting power. And we love to see that where George Cross, they went really from nothing at the start of the season to where they are now, to be an occasion like this, beating the teams like Clifton Hill and now Manningham. Lifting up that plate will just be so much to this team that they've worked so hard to get here.
Well, George Cross, well deservedly so. With the way that they played all day, they were the better team in my opinion. I mean, it was just everywhere at them in that entire game, and you can see what it means to them out there on the pitch. And, well, George Cross, at the end of the day, are your Steph Catley Plate champions. However, folks, don't just think this is the end of it. We still have one more game to go. Hellas and Alexandros Part 2. The rivalry of all rivalries will continue. Will it be Hellas going back-to-back? Will they steal all the cups and take it all the way back to Lakeside? Or will Heidelberg, the team that has been virtually unstoppable all season long, do the unthinkable and regain their success from 2016? Don't go anywhere. The Nike FC Cup will kick off in only about 45 minutes. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. However, that is all from us here. George Cross win it in penalties, 4-3. At the end of the day, they are your Steph Catley Cup champions.